Hi, everyone. Welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. Thank you very, very much for being here. Um, this week, I kind of got a theme going. On Wednesday, Kathy Beale is here, and she has some really interesting things to say about kind of now for the next 6 weeks. So I hope you will all tune in for that. Pendulum, excuse me, Pendulum Friday this week will take place next week. Okay, so if you have questions, put them in the comment section, and they'll get compiled and they'll come to me. So I'm not even sure if it's Beth or Joyce, but either way, I just want everybody to have the time sort of to deal with Thanksgiving as opposed to trying to, deal with other stuff. So, and the Saturday morning Pick Your Crystal, that will come out on Saturday morning, like always. So today, you're only going to see me today, and then you're going to see me tomorrow with Kathy Beale, who, of course, as you all know, comes from Professional Aquarian. That is her YouTube channel. So what I thought I would do is I thought, well, okay, so she's looking at an overall sort of horoscope energy over the next 6 weeks. You know what, maybe this might be a really good time to just take a look at the energy around the United States over the next 6 weeks and see if we can kind of figure out what may or may not be happening. All right, here we go. United States energy next 6 weeks. United States energy next 6 weeks. United States energy next 6 weeks. So this is where we're starting. We're starting with the Seven of Wands, right? This is sort of a little bit of that kind of defensive posturing, right? It's a place where, you're having to justify what you've done or the actions you've taken or why you've taken them. Just energetically overall, there's going to be, some interesting, I guess, conversations that need to take place, things going on behind the scenes that we don't know of. I mean, Trump's pick for his administration, for cabinet, all of that, one is more crazy than the next one. Now, one of the blessings, if you will, is that got rid of Matt Gaetz, but the reality here is that, we have to remember that one of the things that Trump loves to do is create chaos. And he also never defends or explains his actions, but the people around him are starting to push back a little. Murkowski of Alaska, I think last week said, yeah, well, you know what? These guys aren't being vetted. I'm not voting for them. You just get a few more like that. And it's amazing how all of a sudden things look different and, people respond differently. So this is going on. Now, you have the wish card here followed by the magician. So the wish card is a wish card, right? It is a card about manifesting, manifesting what you want to achieve almost without compromise. The card often represents sort of not selling yourself short, not starting to surrender before you have any reason to surrender. It's that kind of energy. So you've got the Magician here. So this is about a feeling that there was some tricky stuff that has gone on and that we are going to hear about. Okay. Got a really strong, you've got the Eight of Wands here, right? So this is about communication. This is about stuff coming out. This is about things that are going on behind the scene now that we ultimately will find out about. You've got the Seven of Swords here. So what are we talking about, right? We're talking about looking at if there was bullying, if there was theft, if there was some mischief that went on. That's going to be part and parcel of what is around us, what we're hearing, what we're dealing with for the next 6 weeks or so. I've got the Page of Wands. So information is going to start coming out. It feels sort of like it's going to come out in trickles. Okay. These are things that y'all want to be mindful of, especially in the next 6 weeks, because, I'm going to start to sound like a broken record, but we all need to be really mindful of the energy of our thoughts, of what we're thinking, of what we're putting out there, because what you focus on, is what you receive. And so and listen, first of all, I'm not minimizing the fact that there are things to be really, really concerned about. But it's okay to be concerned. It's not okay to allow yourself to spiral down sort of a rabbit hole of fear and anxiety, because it's not helpful. It's not helpful to you. It's not helpful energetically. So concern is one thing, but fear, let's do everything we can to try to push that back. Now, we have the Ten of Swords here. Interestingly, this card feels to me like there's going to be a lot of communications, information coming out with regards to literally being attacked, and not by your allies. So this is interesting. It feels to me like the next little while feels like there's going to be just a lot of information coming our way. And, I think a push for mainstream media to stop doing what they're doing and, surrendering their power before the guy's even in office. It's ridiculous. Five of Wands. So this is about, petty back and forth, arguing, discussing, that kind of thing. But what it feels like is that we're talking about information that's coming out, and there's going to be a lot of, yes, this is right. No, that's wrong. How can you say it's just going to be like that kind of back and forth. And again, understand that if there is one thing that Trump does incredibly well, it's create chaos. And so be mindful of what you listen to. Be mindful of the messages him and his campaign, his whoever are sending out, because they are designed to create that sort of hyper anxiety and worry. And you get to the point where you just absolutely don't know what to believe anywhere, which is represented here by the Ace of Cups. So on the one hand, there's a great deal of hope and expectation, but on the other hand, emotions are running very, very high. And this feels honestly like throughout the country. It's like right now, the United States is functioning on two parallel lines that have, normally when you think about a parallel line, you tend to think about them going together, right? They're traveling together in different places or in different spaces. The parallel lines that I'm seeing now are going in opposite directions. Um, and so the aim or the intention are very, very different when each of these parallel lines kind of gets to where they're trying to get to. So be really mindful that for every person out there who is meditating and saying prayers and sending one light, white light, and not giving up hope, there's an equal number of people out there who are absolutely overjoyed with the results, despite the fact that Trump said, the whole election was rigged, and he said it for 4 years now. But they believe these results, of course, because the guy they wanted to get in apparently is in. So this is not going to be a time of clarity. I think as information comes out, it certainly looks like it's going to. As information comes out, there's going to be a lot to digest, a lot of opinions, a lot of attitudes, a lot of just stuff sort of flooding, the airwaves. And so recognize that that is the period of time we are going into. This is not going to be smooth sailing. Okay, it's not. There's going to be a lot of tension, a lot of stress, things that are going to go on that are not going to make a lot of sense to, frankly, a lot of people. All right. Now, we have, interestingly, both the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands here. And I have to say, both of these seem to be representing an energy, not only around the sort of divine feminine energy, but the energy around kind of the avatar of that divine energy, and that would be Kamala Harris. Okay. So what I'm getting here is that there is riches or abundance coming to her, and that she has a lot to say. So this is going to be interesting because, she really has kept, very quiet. All right. There's going to be information coming out about quid pro quo involving who, the greedy king, the wannabe king. Now, it's a matter of whether that information ends up getting to the right place. All right. I mean, there was already information. I don't know, Lavrov or one of those guys has already made public statement basically saying, listen, in order for Trump to win, certain things had to be agreed to, certain things had to be done. And now the expectation is he is going to honor his side of the bargain. That does not sound like a free and fair election, but somehow it sort of gets reported really quietly and then it disappears. And that is part of what needs to be looked at, addressed, and simply let the powers that be know that that isn't working for you so much anymore. And I can't count the number of people, me included, who have really just turned off the television. It's like every time you turn it on, somebody's screaming and fear-mongering and talking about the insanity of this pick versus the craziness of that pick. And all it's doing is getting everybody, agitated and worried and stressed out. Ultimately, you've got the Justice card coming here. Interestingly, you've got the Hangman coming here. So let's look at that. Is this telling us that with a different perspective, justice will arrive? Or is it telling us there's still time, there's still a delay, things have slowed down, or things are not moving as quickly as we would like, but ultimately you end up in a place of justice? But you definitely end up in a place where there is retreat and I guess possibly recovery. although I'm not exactly sure. For some reason, I want to say this feels like Trump energy. Um, listen, everybody's dealing with sort of a lot of, well, not everybody, but 55% of the US population is dealing with kind of a broken heart feeling, right? Disappointed, confused, can't understand it. Things don't fit together in a way that makes sense of the ultimate results of that election. But the question becomes, is something going to be done about it? Is something being done about it? And honestly, where does that lead? Gathering of information. There's gathering of information coming, and that information, oh wow, that information is it's going to bring us the sun, right? It's going to bring us clarity, understanding. It's going to help us fill back up with joy and optimism, because what are we fighting here? We are fighting the vibration of lower energy. We are pushing back against a degree of toxic energy that we need to be mindful that we're not absorbing, and that in some way the full as much information can come out as possible with regards to what has been going on, what hasn't been going on, etc. So right now, it feels like the next 6 weeks are going to bring information. They're going to bring some upsets. They're going to bring moments of absolute chaos and then moments of absolute clarity. And we are going to handle it as best we can. We are not going to fall into a anxiety pit. Again, you guys have Thanksgiving, like in a couple of days, and your Thanksgiving is like a weekend, right? It sort of starts on like, I don't know, like Wednesday and kind of ends on the next Tuesday. But this is a time to be thankful. Let's be thankful for strong leaders. Let's be thankful for the fact that right now you're in a democracy. Let's be thankful for the fact that you have very, very experienced politicians who are not amused. They're not. And I have to say, that includes the likes of Mitch McConnell. Because even he is able to understand that what has been the result is far more extreme than he ever envisioned. So his vision did not end up manifesting the way he wanted it to or he thought it should. It became so much more extreme, and now it's like spiraling out of control. So, but listen, I'm going to put up those experienced politicians against the likes of Stephen King and Trump. No, Stephen Miller. And Trump and Bannon and Mike Flynn, whoever, because as of right now, you are still in a strong country with a democracy, and magically, apparently, the president of the United States is completely immune for anything he does while he's in office. That's what I got to say about that. All right. It's going to be a short week, obviously. Please join us tomorrow with Kathy Bill. It's really, really interesting what she has to say, and insightful and optimistic. And this time she talked about kind of some of the stuff that's going on, not only in terms of community politics global, but she did send out some information our way about how to things that we might be looking for or dealing with within our own personal lives as a result of some of the shifting and things that have gone on. So have a good week, everyone. All right. Take good care of yourself. And if something explodes, I will come out on Thursday or Friday to react to that. But Pendulum Friday is next week for sure. And I think when I did the video with Kathy Beal, I did not say that. I think I said that I would be doing Pendulum Friday this Friday. So I'm not. Okay, so you're not confused. All right, that's what I know for right now. Thank you so very, very much for being here. Your ongoing support, your lovely, lovely comments. Oh my God, the donations. Thank you so much. It's all really heartwarming and special because it feels like there's a whole lot of stuff that needs to somehow get corrected so that the energies that we were projecting and dealing with can sort of resume their positive forward flow. Have a good long weekend to my southern neighbors and to the rest of the world. Take care of yourself. Take your vitamins. Things are going to get a little crazy. And I will look forward to seeing you here next week, post Thanksgiving. Take care now. Be well. Bye.